Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. It is one of my favorite holidays because margaritas are probably one of my favorite drinks. So welcome, I'm Jackie. I'm one of the owners of the Paint Bar, and I'm here to teach you how to paint tonight, all right? So in honor of Cinco de Mayo, which is happening right now, although you can paint this at any time, it doesn't have to just be today, we're gonna be painting this margarita glass. So here are the materials that I'm using tonight, all right? So I am painting on a 16 by 20 canvas. I am using, I haven't poured the paint colors yet because I was going to wait for some people to join so you could do it with me. Hello to whoever just said hi. Make sure we're using StreamYard tonight, which is what allows us to stream across a few different platforms. So please make sure you accept, I don't remember what it says, but accept StreamYard so that when you comment, I can see your comments. I also have Facebook up here, so I can probably find it in a second. But just for technical reasons, it's the easiest way to do it. Okay, I don't want to waste time finding people. So make sure you accept StreamYard so that I can see that you're painting with us. All right. All right. So here are the colors we're using. I normally can find things easier, but I can't. That's okay. All right. Here are, hey Nicole, here are the colors we're using. We are using white. So I'm going to take them out as I use them. So 16 by 20 canvas. You can do this on you can do this on a canvas board, piece of paper, anything you want. In fact, margaritas are super cute if you paint them on paper and then you can frame it later. So if you are at home and you're like, oh, I don't have a canvas, but I want to do this, and you happen to have paint, you can just do it on a piece of paper. Easy. Okay, so I'm going to use white. White is going to be in our painting a lot tonight. Whenever I do any painting, I always need like quadruple the amount of white versus any other color. Now, I put all of our paints into these ketchup bottles, which works really well on a normal day, but then often they get clogged, which is why I always have toothpicks nearby. All right, so we're going to do white. We're going to do some red, which is what's going to give us the pink in the background. All right. Never know if it's better to do the paint with you guys or like before you get on or after. I don't know. We're doing it together tonight. Catherine, Donna, hello, everybody. Great to see you all. All right, this is a fun way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, right? It's my favorite holiday. I love nachos, and I love margaritas. So I know it's a completely Americanized, not real version of Cinco de Mayo, but those are like my favorite drink is a margarita, and my favorite food are nachos, and I'm super lactose intolerant. So in the world, it's hard to find nachos, but here at home, I have vegan cheese, and it's great. Okay, so some green. Okay, back to colors. We're using white, red, blue, green. I am using phthalo green, chrome yellow, which is a bright yellow. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. Chrome yellow is a great one for this because it makes that really bright yellow. So if you have a deep yellow at home and you mix it with a chrome yellow, you're just going to get like a darker, deeper green. So I recommend chrome yellow and then some black. All right, and for those who are like, well, where's the orange on here? We make orange by mixing together the red and yellow. Okay. All right, so if you are drinking a margarita tonight, please let me know. I'd love to know if you're drinking one at home or what your favorite beverage is or any of your favorite snacks. Just tell me what you're eating or doing, okay? All right, so let's get started. The brushes that I'm using tonight, I'm going to start off with my big brush. Let's get all the brushes out so you guys can see. I don't think I'll be using all of these. Let's see. I'm going to definitely be using my big brush. So big brush, flat on the sides, flat on top. I'll definitely be using my square brush, flat on the sides, flat on top, just like a mini version of the big brush. Hi, Cheryl. Great to see you on here. I will definitely be using, I probably will use all of them, actually. Here's our medium brush, flat on the sides, rounded on top. I've had a lot of people asking me the real name of that brush. It is called a filbert brush, Filbert. And then my round brush here. So rounded all the way around, comes to a point on top. And then last but not least is the baby brush. Baby brush is great for all the little details. We're going to be making lines with baby brush, all the good stuff. Okay, so let's get started first by using our big brush. All right, so take that big brush out, give it a little dunk in your water. Every time you use a new brush, you always want to give it a little dunk. You also want to make sure every time you paint, we want to make sure we have a paper towel nearby. So big brush, dunk in the water, tap it off a few times. I usually say like 3 taps on one side, 3 taps on the other. Wipe it off like this. And then we're going to start by dipping it into your red and white. Okay, we're going to make this pink background. Now, you can do any color background if pink isn't your thing. Maybe you want to hang it in your kitchen and it just doesn't match any color you want. I just chose pink because it looks really good with lime green. So that's why I chose it. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of our red. And then I'm going to dab it off because you just don't want a lot of paint on your brush right now. And then I'm going to dip it into my white. Okay. Now, I am going to leave about an inch. So if you bend your pinky from knuckle to knuckle is about an inch, and you're going to come in from that corner about an inch. So all this width here is about an inch. Now, my type A's, and I know there are a lot of you watching, look at all the imperfections, okay? So it's not perfect all the way around. Everything looks better from further away, so always keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tip of this brush here, and I'm just going to come down from a diagonal about an inch or so, coming down about an inch here, coming down about an inch. We're going inches all the way around, so coming in about an inch. And what you're going to do is you're just going to use the thin part of this brush, and you're going to make a line that goes across. But don't sweat if it's not perfect, okay? So notice how mine is not perfect. You see how there's a little wobble in it? I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to leave a little space. I left about an inch on each side, so I'm going to come down, and I'm going to come down. Excellent. All right, now I'm going to come up from the bottom of the canvas about a third of the way. We're going to make this line for where the table is. All right, so from your bottom of your canvas, I'm going to come up. I'm going to imagine I'm dividing my canvas into 3 sections. So I'm going to come up about 1/3 of the way and make a line that goes across. All right, it's kind of wobbly, but that's okay. All right, now I'm going to have you guys paint this whole top section. So you're going to scoop. Now you want to use a lot of paint. So when we just made our lines, it was just a little bit of paint so you can make a nice edge. But now we're going to use a nice big scoop of paint, and we're going to scoop up our white. So less red, more white. You can find that you can like change it up. If you need to add more red on there, add more red. Like you can change it up once you start. So you don't have to feel like you totally commit to your paint before you start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go up and down like this, kind of see the color that's coming out. And it's supposed to be that, you know, that special Pepto-Bismol pink. Up and down, side to side. And this is a little bit whiter than I want. I want it to be a little bit of a darker pink. So I'm going to take more of my red and a little bit less white when I mix. All right, I'm going to let that red is so powerful. It's just going to mix into everything. I'm pulling the paint down. I have a lot of paint on here. Notice how I accidentally went outside the lines. That's okay. All right, so don't worry about that. When you paint the black, it'll cover it right up. So I'm going to go side to side, up and down. I'm painting everything above this line here. All right, now let me see if it's still not pulling up on my Facebook page, and then I can answer any questions. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And I do, oh, there we are. See y'all. Okay, so now while we're painting this, here we go. Okay, now, while we're painting this, keep in mind, the more paint you use, the easier it's going to be to spread around, all right? So if you're having trouble, if you're painting like this, and number one, you can hear some texture, like hear this noise. If you hear that noise, it means you're just not using enough paint. So you want to use bigger scoops of paint, all right? So use your brush and really scoop it up. Hey, Margaret, great to see you on here. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you too. All right, up and down, side to side. Today for lunch, my husband got us some tacos and burritos. And then in my mind, we always were planning on having nachos. But in his mind, since we had the tacos and burritos for lunch, we're not having nachos. So we're really on different pages about what we're eating tonight. But nachos are my favorite. If anyone else here likes nachos, let me know in the comments, because I like to have some nacho friends. Tell me what you like to put on your nachos, any favorite places for nachos if you're in the Boston area. I'm always up for trying new places. I recently last week was my sister's birthday, and I had her and my cousins over, and I just moved to Natick, Massachusetts, and I have never had nachos in Natick. So I wrote on the Facebook Natick page about where to find nachos. I got so many responses, and also I had like at least 4 or 5 shares. Like people shared my post, which means it was a valid post. That's always a good feeling. And number 2, people are really dedicated to knowing about nachos. So Margaret, you like nachos too, but grilled fish tacos are my favorite. That is what I had for lunch today, Margaret. We are on the same page. I had grilled fish. I had 3, grilled fish, shrimp, and vegetable. So it was a great day. Great day overall. And yeah, the MB says, love nachos, cheese, sour cream, guacamole, all the good stuff, salsa. Yep, up there with you. I think it's the best. The best. Does anyone have a favorite place that they like to go? Kind of let me know. Now, while we're painting, I thought this is a good opportunity between Cinco de Mayo and Mother's Day. We decided to celebrate by opening up our membership. So a lot of the ladies on here are from our membership. If you are a membership lady on here tonight, please say hello, or give me an emoji or something so people know you're watching, not just with Cheese and Salsa. Jenny, I'm all about that. Super simple. Jenny is a member. Jenny also just had another little baby. Super, super cute. If you're on here, Margaret's a member. We got some good members up here tonight. Donna. So members, I know we've been together for a long time with nobody else because I wasn't capable of opening this before when I had my baby. But now I feel like we can welcome in a few people. It's a flash sale. It's only going to be open starting tomorrow through Sunday. And then we close it again. And Nicole's on here. It's Nicole Stacy. Hi. Hey, Shula. Yep, we got a lot of members watching tonight. The members are my favorite people. We have a great time painting together. And okay, Margaret is telling us, hey, Brianne. Oh, everyone's coming out tonight. So guys, Shula was my teacher when I was a lot younger. Not art though. I did Hebrew. I don't know if anyone else here on here speaks Hebrew, but that's what Shula taught. So a few things. Okay, so the membership is going to be open tomorrow just through Sunday. So if anyone has a mother figure in their life that they think needs to spend some more time on themselves, then the membership is where they should be. All right, now, I was going to raise the membership to $35 a month, but then I thought for Mother's Day only, we'll only raise it to $30. We'll keep it at the $30 price for a little bit longer. This is the last time it will ever be that inexpensive. They are getting a lot of painting in there for the $30, or for what, the founding members paid even less than that. So we're going up. The prices that you pay, that you're getting now, don't last forever. So if anyone is interested, you got to think about it and just do it. And join our little community. It's so special. It's so fun. We paint together all the time. I don't know, members on here, tell us what to do. You speak Hebrew and can use Margarita? Okay, I don't know who Facebook user is who just said that. Who just said that? I don't know who you are because it just says Facebook user, but I'd like to know who that is. So we can all say hello to you. Yes, I guess we have a few more Hebrew speakers on here than I thought. Okay, there we go. There's our pink background. Notice how it's all different colors, some white, some red. Fantastic. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this brush. I'm going to put it in my water, all right? Put it in the water for the moment, and I'm going to take out my medium brush. Now, before, you know what I should have done? I should have done this before I painted in pink. I'm going to do something, guys. I want you all to text me right now, all right? So we have a new system, a new phone number, and the phone number goes to my phone. It's super cool, so you can text me personally. Here, let's see if I can do this. Banners. Let me see if I can make the banner so I can put out my phone number. Here it is. Here's the new phone number, everybody. This is how you can reach me directly, and I can always let you know when I'm going live. So before this, I just started this earlier today. Before this, I had 3 people text me, and they got a personal text from Jackie Sean. Okay, the number is 617-553-6788. Okay, if you're watching this right now, 617-553-6788. I want you to go text me. Jackie, get it together, Jack. How do you do this? Add banner. Woohoo! Text me. That's my number. Okay, that's how you can reach me, and I can write back to you, and it's so fun. I can tell you whenever we're live or what we're doing, any fun things happening. I'm gonna leave that up for there for a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna write. Can I edit it? No, maybe. Edit. I'm gonna write text me. Now I will not. So text me, and there is a little auto response. You'll get something back from me, but then I'll text you back personally after I finish teaching. Okay, text me. There you go. All right. So now, got sidetracked here. So we put our big brush in the water. Now I'm going to take out my medium brush, flat on the sides and round it on top. Okay. Donna, did you mean to text so many things? I don't think Donna is meaning to text right now. Donna, you're texting from your phone, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not know what's happening, but okay. Here we go. We're going to do just the white. Now, I did not put nearly enough white on here, which is why I keep having to open it. The thing is a little clogged, so I'm just going to dump the whole thing out. We can never use enough white. Let's just sink down. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that lasts me the rest of the painting. Okay. All right, so medium brush, flat on the sides, round it on top, and you're just gonna scoop it up. And I know it's always weird to paint white on a white background, but I do this because the white is different than the canvas. The canvas has something called gesso on it, which was why it looks a little bit lighter. You want to just paint the white right on top because if you can notice, it's a different color. So if you were to accidentally like spill paint on the white, you want it to be this different color white so you can always fix it up. Okay, so just cleaning your keyboard. All good, Donna, all good. I haven't cleaned my keyboard in a long time. Probably something I should do. I don't even know. What do you clean your keyboard with? Let me know. All right, so big scoops makes everything easier to spread. You can go right over that pink outline. You'll be able to see a little bit, which is all you need. You just need to be able to see a tiny bit so that you can add your checkers later. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to use the thin part of my brush to make a nice line on top, to make a thin line. Sometimes it's easier for people if they hold it sideways to make the line going down, so you do you. Okay, if you texted me, let me know. I want to know. This is a new thing. I was very excited to do this. Set it up last night. Apparently J-Lo has it. Apparently Ellen DeGeneres has it. All those celebrities and Jackie Show. All right, I'm going to do long brush strokes going across. All right, now tomorrow, in honor of our membership opening, we are also going to be doing, we're basically going to be doing paintings every day that we are opening, that the cart is open is what we call it. So tomorrow we're going to be painting watercolor flowers so you can make Mother's Day cards. Yay, people texting me. Nope, everybody text me, MB. Everybody can do it. This is for everybody. Sorry to be confusing with both things. So I just set everything up today. That's why it's confusing. But everybody can text me. The texts go out to everybody. Members, I got to figure out another way just to text the members, but we don't have that right now. Right now it's that everybody gets texted. Nicole, glad to have you. Text with your phone. Right. Yes, Margaret, text with your phone. Text with your phone. I think it's just like anyone can text from any plan. It works with everything. So it's just like sending a real text. It's weird how it works because it's an app, but it's very, very cool. So, okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean this brush off. So let it hit the cup. Actually, let's clean off our big brush because this is about the width of the big brush. So I'm going to clean off their big brush. Yay, Catherine, this is so fun. I've been wanting to do this texting thing for a really long time. And me and the text stuff, I just was nervous to do it. And then last night, I was lying in bed and I was like, Jackie, get it together. You can do it. And I did it. Now I have a new number. 553-6788. 617-553. I had the option to keep my 617 area code, which I thought was kind of cool. Okay, so now we are going to paint black. We're going to use black around the outer edge, okay? So I'm going to take this brush. I'm going to put it on both sides like this. And I'm just going to use the thin part here, and I'm going to make a nice edge. So like I was saying, I have an easier time painting a straight line down. So I like to wipe the brush on each side so that all the bristles come together. Excellent. All right, now I'm going to do it on this side as well. Okay, when I'm making a line, a trick for making a line, which actually is very similar when I used to waitress and carry margarita or martini glasses, I learned you want to look straight ahead, like you're not looking at the margarita glasses. And the same thing kind of applies when you're making a line. So when you're making a line, what I do is I don't look directly at the line. I look at where I want my line to end up. So kind of when I carried my margarita glasses, I would look at where I was going. So what you do is you just take your brush and you're going to move your eye to where you want your brush to go. And it helps make the line straight-ish. Can't guarantee it's going to be perfect. Perfect. What time? The flowers tomorrow. The flowers tomorrow, I think I said are 12 o'clock noon. Or I only told the members that. So 12 o'clock noon, that is when our membership opens and when I will be painting the flowers. Sheila, I'd love to have you there. Hi, Lori. Great to see you on here. Okay, so here we go. Excellent. All right, now you might have a little bit of the color mixing in. It might be making the black a little bit more gray or something like that. Fine, don't worry about it. Not to worry at all. Off to your book club happy hour. Okay, bye, Margaret. Great to see you, and we'll see you soon. And Margaret, text me. I'd love to have you on there. Okay. All right, but have a great book club, and let us know what you guys are reading. So now I'm going to fill in this whole section, so on each side. Now, if you are planning to hang this up at home, I recommend that you also paint your side edges. So you can do that either now or you can do that at the end of the painting. This is actually one of those paintings that doing it at the end works really well because you don't have to because you're just using solid black, you don't have to really match the side color to the top. Margaret, you may have, sorry, I don't have, my phone is recording me right now, so I don't actually know if you did. But have a great book club. Text me and let me know what book you guys are reading. All right, let me open this up. My ketchup bottles are usually good. What I should have done if I wasn't a type A personality is I would have cleaned all the nozzle boogers before we started this class. All right. Whoa. Man, where did this clumpy, oh my God, so much clumpy paint. Ah! Okay, well, apparently the black paint was dry and I didn't know. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going here. This kind of looks like a gross dead animal. I feel like it's maybe freaking people out. So I'm gonna dispose of this big wad of dried black paint. Okay, much better. Whew, that was weird. Go. And right here. Does anyone on here like strawberry margaritas or strawberry daiquiris or something? Any other drinks that are fun for Cinco de Mayo? Totally play up the holiday. It's my favorite. I really wanted to make myself one to have while I was painting, but I just didn't get it together. Okay, so again, we made our outline, so it makes the transition a little bit nice and smooth, and you kind of create an outline for yourself. However, you might get a little bit of paint in. That's okay. Don't worry about your lines being perfectly straight. Not something to worry about. It's supposed to have a painterly feel. So right now I'm getting on the sides, but later we can come back and cover it up. Almost done. Okay. Cool. All right, so now let's do this. I'm going to flip it again. Oops. And I'm going to take this brush, put in my water. So now I'm going to, oh, hey, we got some, okay, pina colada from Stacy. Hi, Jody. Strawberry daiquiri and whipped cream. Jody, great choice. Great choice. I love that idea. Minus whipped cream, because you know what my stomach does with whipped cream. So, so now you're going to use your baby brush, give it a little dunk in your water, tap it off, wipe it off, and we are going to use our white. So I'm going to use the white to map everything out here. And then we might need to do a little quick dry break, but I'm going to keep powering through. I do have my blow dryer here. So I always recommend using a blow dryer to dry things off so that, you know, you can work without a dry break, but you know, here we're going to go, keep going. Okay. So baby brush, give it a dunk in your water, tap it off, wipe it off on a paper towel. And then you guys are going to dip it into your white paint. And I'm going to have you guys come to the center. So if you were to come to the center of your whole whole section here, the top table, you're going to go from there. That's the left side of your margarita glass. Okay. So I'm going to make a little dot. So I went to the center and I made a little dot. Now, I hate how this is reversed. So this isn't I don't know how to make it change when I'm on what's it called? Streamer, but that's okay. I'm going to say go to the left, but I'm going to the right. So it's all good. All right, now you guys are going to go over to the left from that center dot. You're going to go over to the left, and you're going to go from there. You're going to go halfway in between, okay? So you're gonna make a dot like this, right? So we have a dot here in the center, and then you guys go over to the left, about halfway, make another dot, and then from there, I'm gonna make a line, connecting the line. All right, now, I'm going to come up about 1 inch. So coming up about an inch, I'm gonna make another dot. Can you guys all see? And then I'm going to make, I don't want it to be like a really strong triangle. I want it to be kind of like a softer triangle like this. A nice curved bottom. All right, and I'm gonna paint over the pink. It's still gonna look really pink, but it will dry and we'll go over it again. So the number one thing I always tell my painters is that you just want to paint over the whole space, kind of plot everything out, and then you guys can always come back and paint over it later. Okay? All right, now we're gonna make a line going up. So this line is about 3 inches or so. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so about approximately 3 inches. The top of the line we're making is pretty much in line with the halfway point of your entire canvas. So everyone's painting might be a little bit different measurement-wise, but that's an approximate measurement. So if you were to find the halfway point of your whole canvas, just come up, make a little dot there, and then you guys can make a line that goes from that dot down to your margarita bottom. Okay, now again, it's gonna kind of mix in your background. Your background's still pretty wet. That's fine, not to worry. Now, we're gonna make a little U right on top, like a little smiley face. And I also want you guys to keep in mind that this is a very whimsical painting. So you want it to have that kind of like moving, you want it to feel whimsical, feel funky, and feel fun. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a big U. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the top. We're gonna make the top of the lip here, or this is actually the bottom lip, but you're gonna go up about 3 more inches or so. So something like right here. Let's make it like right there. Okay, and then from there, we're gonna make a nice big smiley face. So we're gonna go about 2.5 inches or so to the right, same to the left. So I'm gonna just kind of swoop up and swoop over. So mine tilts upwards on the right, on the left-hand side. Like that. All right, if you're painting along with me, put up a heart so I can see that you're painting. And if not, if you plan to paint this later, also put up a heart so I know. Now we're gonna make a smiley face again. So we're gonna do a nice big smiley face coming down here. So let's come right down. And also, if you make a line that you don't love, do not worry about it. So if you look at my original one, like these thicker lines here, that's a line that I didn't like and I just kind of remade it. You can always go back in, especially since it's wet, and like paint it pink again. You can also, like this bottom area, we're going to be covering that with the green. So don't worry, don't feel like this is the final, like it has to be perfect right now. You really just want your shape to be the shape that you want. Everything else can be changed. Okay. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a rainbow on top, like a really thin one. So you want to make like almost a almond shape here, like that. Okay, that's it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline where all my lines. We're not doing lemons. Okay, it looks backwards to you, but I'm still going to the right when you're going the right. Janice, thank you for telling me that. So if I go to the right, if I do this, does it look like it's going to the right for all of you? Please let me know. If that's the case, that would be amazing. So I just don't know. StreamYard is showing me different, but I'd love it if it works for you. So someone in the comments, let me know. When I move to the right, does it look like I'm going to the right or to the left? Please let me know. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this corner over here, and I'm going to make a nice C shape. Yes, it does? Yay! Okay, great. Good to know. Excellent. Amazing. Yay. Okay, so then I don't have to like use my brain and move things. That was getting awkward and hard, so I'm glad that it's working out. I don't know why it looks opposite on here. Yes, they're right. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Catherine, Nicole, Janice. You're all the best. I really appreciate it. Okay, so now that makes everything, because I was just thinking about all future videos and how that will impact it, but this makes everything amazing. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a smiley face. So we're going to go to the left, and hopefully that makes sense. We're going to go to the left, and we're going to make a smiley face. All right, so we're going to start here. The width of our smiley face is a little bit more than 2 inches. And also keep in mind that these measurements I'm giving you, like you all know, lemons come in different shapes and sizes, so it doesn't have to be, limes, they don't have to be exactly the same. Okay, if they're a little bigger or a little smaller, it's all good. But my line here is really pretty much the size of a real line. So if you happen to have a line at home, whip that out and you can throw it on your painting as a measurement tool. Okay, so I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna make actually, you know what's easier? Let's make this line on top first and we'll connect it with a smiley face. So I'm gonna come up from the left-hand side of my glass here. I'm gonna come up about an inch or so. I'm gonna make a little dot and then I'm gonna make a line that goes on the diagonal. Now I do realize because I gave you the instructions before, if anyone is painting the way that I was saying opposite, just keep going with it. Your painting is just going to be flipped, but it'll look exactly like it'll be the same painting, just flipped. Okay, and now we're going to connect these like this with a little smiley face. All right, my paint is still wet. I might have to use the blow dryer soon. And then I'm going to make like a oval shape right behind it. Okay, so it's going to come out from about the center. So where your center of your line is, that's where it's going to start. And then you're going to go to the left of this line here. You're going to go over about an inch like that. You all see what I'm doing? All right, and then we're going to connect. I'm going to connect these like this, just a nice oval. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little, like a tiny little C. It's kind of going to look like a nipple, but it'll come together, I swear. So you're going to make a little nipple like that. And then the other one I'm going to put up here. So kind of, it looks like it's a little slanted. There you go. All right, now it actually looks like Hey Arnold's with 2 ears. The cartoon. Throwback. All right, so now the next one we're going to do, this one might get a little bit of black on it if the black is still wet for you guys. So I'm just going to go from the bottom here. I'm going to come up from my white. So if I go all the way over to the left, I'm going to come up just a little bit, starting just above the white, and I'm going to swoop down and off the canvas. Okay, so something like that. So the height of this one is about 2 inches or so. Let me just round it out so it looks a little bit more limey and less weird looking, like a potato or something. All right, and then this one also has a little nub at the bottom. We got to fill these in because they're looking like boobs, and that's not the intention of our painting tonight. Now the next one on the right-hand side, this one, I'm going to have us do, let's see what I want us to do. Let's do a little smiley face, okay? It's not going to have a huge arch, just a little bit. We're going to go to the right of our margarita glass, so starting right here. And we're going to make it go up to the right-hand side on the black. So you're going to go up about 1.5 inches or so, like right here. And we're going to make a small smiley like that. Okay. All right, and now we're going to make a big smiley. That. So it kind of looks like half of a line right now. But as we're actually doing a profile view, what we're going to do is we're going to make another rainbow shape on top. So we're going to get a different angle. We have all different angles here of a line. Okay. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do, while the pink is still dry, we're going to make our stripes on the white. And the reason we're going to do that is because all the colors that we've made here mix white into it anyway. So you can do it while the paint is still wet, if that makes sense. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, I'm going to take out my square brush for this. So take your square brush out. I don't think we've used it yet. So square brush, give it a little dunk into your water. Okay, Jody, I hope you texted me too. I want you on there also, and Nicole, and Janice, and Stacy. All right, now take this brush. Now you guys can do any colors you like. I think those happen. I just like how all these colors kind of go together. They're pastel, but not totally pastel. So I'm going to mix together a little bit. When you're making orange, you always want to go red first into your yellow. So that way, here, I'll do that. That way you can control how dark you want it to be. All right, so I'm going to make a little puddle so we don't have to remake it every single time. All right, so I'm going to make you don't need to add too much white either. So you're doing red with your yellow, we're going to add, the white's going to be added in because my white is so wet. I don't know about you guys, but I think the air has a lot of moisture in it. So everything's taking a little bit of dry, a little bit longer to dry tonight. So that's something you're going to notice when you paint. Like in the wintertime, things dry so quickly. And then in the summertime, springtime, you might have a little more moisture and it will dry a little faster. Okay, now each of these are just about an inch or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over. I know this one started all the way on the left, but because this one's had a little space that bothered me, even though I'm not type A, but what I'm going to have you guys do, you're going to come over just a little bit from the left-hand side. You're going to make it's about 2 of your square brushes. So a little, let's say a little bit less than that, but I'm going to go like this. I'm going to come over, leave a little space, come down. Let me bring it close to you guys. I'm going to thicken it a little bit. Can you all see that? And come down. Like that. Okay, that's the first one. Now we're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. So I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to come down. And notice when I first made it, my line is a little bendy. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to take the brush. I'm going to hold it up and down so it helps me make my line straight. Come down and come down. So if it's easier for you, you actually could like make the outline of your line first and come back. Right now it's definitely very white. So what you can do is you can just paint it and then let it dry and do another layer on top, which is probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to get all my stripes on there and then you can always go back and do another coat on top. Okay. So I'm running out of paint. I didn't make a big enough pile. I'm like really underestimating the amount of paint I need for all my stripes tonight. All right, there we go. Now, this is where things can get challenging. Actually, let's imagine. I'm going to make this better than I did on my original even. So we're going to imagine the blue is going to go in the middle. So this might be helpful. Grab your square brush. I mean your big brush. Use this as a measuring tool. All right, but it has black paint on it. So make sure you don't have black paint. All right, so for those who might be just joining me, I have a new cell phone number that can be used for everybody to text me. That way you can text me, you can ask me questions if you want. You're actually texting me. It's a person, not a robot. And then I can respond. I can actually respond to you. And then also I can text you when we go live. So you can get notifications about when we go live and do classes so you don't miss anything. Or you can get texts about like any updates of things that we're doing or if we have a guest speaker. So it's just like a great way for me to interact with you. Okay, so this is about the width of each of these sections. They're a little bit bigger, but it does help for measuring purposes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine this is in the center, and I'm going to make another one. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to make another. I'm going to leave some space. So let's say I'm going to leave about like half an inch or so. I'm going to make another orange one right here. All right, my white is really wet there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And mine are not all equally spaced apart. And you want that painterly, kind of fun, whimsical feel. So I'm going to make these look nicer. All right, now because this is something that I want pretty controlled, I'm not holding it right up here. I'm holding it just about like the wider part of my brush. All right, and because this part's still really wet, what I like to do is also I like to take the brush and just kind of rub it lightly on the top so that you get a nice straight line. If you push down really hard, then it's going to really mix in with the white paint. But if you very lightly just kind of layer on top of the white paint, there you go. Okay. You can always come back and you can always touch it up if you don't like the color. All right, now I'm going to clean this brush off. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a light blue color. So I'm going to wipe that on my paper towel. And we're going to do a little bit of blue and some white. Now I have way more white on here than I needed, but you know, better safe than sorry. And I'm going to go in between each of these. And I'm just going to do another one. All right, so I'm going to go right in here. And I always make them a little wiggly at first. So maybe I'll just do all of them at first and then I'll thicken them each up. So I'm just using the blue because there's so much white. The background's so wet. Pull across. Okay, I'm going to do it on this side too. And I'm going to do it over here. Ta-da! Doesn't my table look awfully cute? Hi, Patty. Great to have you on here. Thanks, Patty. Did you just join us? If you did, this is a new thing. I think you'll like it. If you text the number that is on the screen, that is now a new cell phone number I have that is just for texting our painters. So you can always reach me. And also, it's a great way for me to tell you what's happening. So just a new fun thing. I know in the membership we have another way of communicating, which I'm not sure about, but this one is definitely awesome. I was just trying to figure out a way to just communicate with our members, which is leading me to remind you all that tomorrow our membership opens just for a short period of time. It's a flash sale just for Mother's Day. I don't know again when we're going to open next, but so you got to sign up. Got to have you in there. All right, here we go. Okay, now I'm going to put this brush in the water. I'm going to take out the round brush, which is rounded all the way around. Patty, text me for sure. You can reach me anytime. I am up at all weird hours of the night because I got a baby, so I will text you back. Now we're going to fill each of these in, okay? So some areas are going to be a little bit lighter than other areas. So what I'm going to do is you're going to do some dark green, and I'm going to mix it into some of my bright chrome yellow. So like the red, you always want to do the dark green into the yellow. Like you make orange, with orange, you do the dark red into the yellow. So with this, you're going to do the dark green into yellow to make a lighter colored green. I'm also going to add in a little bit of my white. Okay, now there are a few areas that are a little bit lighter, so I'm going to show you those areas first. And hey, Tammy, great to have you on here. We're going to paint this area here, like a lighter. I'm actually going to add a little bit of white. So this one. All right, so I'm going to plot out each of them first, and then you guys can fill them in. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one here. Now, if my paint is still really wet there, I think it's layering on fine, but if it wasn't, you can always just cover it up and then paint over it later. This one right over here. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to make a smiley face. So you're going to divide this glass here in half, something like that. Okay, all right, so now let's fill them all in. So remember, I'm going to add a little more yellow and a little more white because I really want them to feel light and bright. Light and bright. So here we go. I'm going to go over my outline. So you paint right on top of the white outline that we made, or in this case, it's black because the outside fills it in like that. I also really love the streaks. Like I really want to see the streaky lines on there. And then I'm also going to come up here and fill this part in. And there we go. All right, so again, I want you guys to see how much I love to see all the streaky lines. And then thank you. And then I'm going to do another one down here. That. And then I'm going to come down here. Cool. There it is. It's very fluorescent and bright. That's what I'm going for. And then I'm going to come down to this one on the bottom. So this one still has some pink. So I'm going to have to do a lighter brush stroke so that the pink doesn't show through. Now, honestly, what would have been better, because whenever you're layering things, you always want to paint the thing on the back first and then so like the background first and then the foreground. So in this case, a little art lesson here, this line here is the background. This half line is the foreground. So what would make it the easiest for you is to paint the background first and then the foreground, because rather than having to go around it. In this situation, I didn't do that, but that's okay. So here we go. Okay. That. And then I'm going to go to all the other areas. I'm going to make them a little bit darker. So my brush has a lot of paint on it. I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to dip it into my green and some bright yellow. And I'm going to fill in all my other areas. Okay, now there might be some places that I'm going to use the baby brush and I'll come back to do some darker green. So I'm going to go right below this line right here. like that. I'm gonna make another little smiley face. Okay, and then I'm gonna go onto this one here, and this one's a little bit darker, but not too much darker. And in these little nooks and crannies, I think it's time to bring out my baby brush. So we waited too long for it. It's time to bring it out. And I'm going to take a little bit of that lime greenish color, some white, and I'm going to go like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually outlining the shape here so that I can give myself, I like to give myself a coloring book. So like give myself parameters to work within. So I'm going to use the baby brush actually. And I'm going to make this a little bit lighter. I'm going to add a little bit more of the green. I want it to be darker than the one that's in the foreground, the one that's in front, but it needs to be not so dark. Okay. This one definitely looks like it has ears, but I'm okay with it. Now I'm going to use the baby brush. Sometimes gives it a lot of little texture because it's such a small brush. So I'm going to use my bigger brush to kind of smooth it out. Let me get a little more yellow. All right, I'm putting the yellow right on top. So the yellow kind of makes it look like it has highlights. I really love to mix colors in. I like it to not look flat, so I get it to have the contrast by blending the colors right on the canvas. So I have little brush strokes here. You can see all the colors that are happening in my line. All right, and then the last we're going to do over here on the left, I'm just going to paint right on top. Now let's see if the black is still wet. Nope, the black's pretty dry, so that's good. Filling that one in. Okay, and I'm going to use my baby brush to fill in that little part. Okay, I use a little bit of the yellow. And I'm going to put the yellow. So usually when I paint, I like to imagine there's a light source that's coming from one direction. So if you're, if it's up here, then like the yellow is going to be on the top. If you want it coming from the bottom, which you could, it wouldn't be as realistic, but not that we're going for a realistic thing anyway. But you kind of want to keep the yellow in the same direction. So keep your highlight in a similar direction. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to take this brush, put in your water. Oh, and Tammy, send along your painted picture. I'd love to see it. All right, so now I'm going to use the baby brush dipped in the dark green, and I'm going to come to the outer edge of this one here. It kind of looks like a little watermelon. That. Okay, and then, oh yeah, one more. And then while we do that, so while we're here, so I outlined this one like a watermelon. Right there. While we're there, I'm just going to make little lines that kind of come out, quick little lines like this to make it look like it has all the little streaks. Not streaks. What are the things inside of a lime called? Veins? I don't know. If you know, put it in the comments. Now, I also just had a lot of paint on my brush, so I just did this. Whenever I do things, I do them subconsciously, and I'd like you to see what I'm doing so you can all learn too. So let's say your baby brush looks really big like this, and you're like, ugh, it's too much paint. What you do is you take the brush and you spin it. So see, I'm spinning it in my hand. You spin it on your page. It gets all the little bristles to come together, so it has a nice point. Now I'm also going to do the same thing on here. So I'm going to go around the outer edge. Whoa! Okay, look what I did. I made it real big. So I'm going to go like this. Since I made it really big, here are your two things that you could do. One is you could paint over it, right? Not going to do that. So what I am going to do is I'm going to fill it in with my lime green color. I went a little overboard with my dark green, so let's fill it in. Now I'm just messing things up. So let's do this. I'm going to go over it. Here we go. Now I'm going to take out my round brush again. And I'm going to fill in this whole space. There we go. Problem solved. Okay, now I'm going to use the baby brush and I'm going to go into the center like this. And then I'm going, Tammy says to call it sections. Great idea, Tammy. Okay, I got a little bit of paint here. You got to be careful where you, so I always use my pinky to support my hand. You just have to be careful where you put yours. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make little lines, dividing into sections, which Tammy gave us a great word. Thank you. And also notice how I'm moving my canvas around. You don't always have to move your hand around. Sometimes I like to move my canvas around like this. Okay, there you go. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to, let's outline these, okay? And I'm going to use the black for that. So I'm going to use my baby brush, clean it off. So clean that baby brush off, and I'm going to use the baby brush. Nope, that's not true. I'm just going to say I'm going to use it the rest of the class, but that's not true. So now I'm going to take my baby brush and I'm going to dip it into the black. Okay, so this is called, for those who are new, is anyone here, if anyone here is new and watching us, please let us know. I'd love to know if you're new watching. Welcome, we're glad that you're here. I'd call this the plop and pull, and I named it that after Legally Blonde's Bend and Snap. You guys are gonna plop and pull, okay? So I'm gonna take the brush here, I'm gonna load it up with paint, and then I'm going to, I like to have it stabilized, so it's kind of supported here. I'm gonna plop the brush down. I like to hold it mid-brush, my hand's kind of wobbly. Plop it down and lightly pull it so it runs out of paint. Okay, so it's not a perfect line. I think this is like a highlight. It's what pulls. This is a signature move here. It's what pulls everything together. And we're going to go like this. Okay, you can still see the white showing through. I'm going to come around the bottom. And I'm going to go down. And I'm going to do it on the bottom down here. I'm going to give this a little swiggle just to make it a little more. So if you add these little squiggles in, it's definitely like a whimsical feel. Some might like it, some might not. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. Some days I like it and some days I don't. All right, and then I'm going to make a smiley face here. So I'm going to go from corner to corner like that on top there. Now I should have done the green sections on this one, but that's okay. I'm going to do it in black instead. So I'm going to go right to the center, and then I'm just going to make little dashes that come out like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. All right, and then I'm going to, same thing, make little dashes right on top of the dark green. I'm going to go around this one here. So I go right around it, like right on top. If you want it to be really dark, then you want to paint on top of the, you want to wait for it to dry a little bit. The bottom here. I'm going to go around this one. Now, if yours are feeling a little extra nipply, what you can do is just paint the black right on top and it'll shrink it down. So it won't be as much of that edge, that bottom little part, the little nubbins. All right, and then the last thing I'm also going to do one right here. And I'm also going to do one around this. Be a little more careful this time than I was last time. I'm going to make little lines coming out like that. Okay. All right, so now we're done with our black. We're going to clean this off, and we're going to dip in the white. Actually, you know what? Let's let this dry for a minute. While this is drying, we're still going to use the white. However, we're going to use our square brush. So take out your square brush. Sorry to change brushes up on you. Yeah, nipply, Tammy. You know, sometimes it happens. Sure, you can relate. Okay, so square brush. Okay, so now we're gonna take the brush, we're gonna dip it into the white, and I'm just gonna make little sections. And I know my type A's out there. If you are type A watching, give me a little heart or something, because if you're gonna feel this pain right now, I just wanna know. So how many of you are stressing about making sure that you have the right amount of space in each one and they're the right size? And you're like, well, what if I start making one and it's thinner than the next one and I run out of space? I know that's probably something people are worried about, and I just want to let you know it's okay. It's okay. All right. Right here, I have a lot less space than I do right here. Or, right here is different than right here. So it's all going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. But what I do, nipply, all the things here. What I do is I start with my corners, okay? So now in this situation, I do like to really hold my brush by the middle, so I have really good control over it. I go across, and this is actually one of my favorite things to do. Doing this reminds me of painting furniture, which I used to do when I was like in high school and college. It's hard to do this and talk. So actually when I do this, I like to use the top edge so you get a nice straight line. And I do this on all my corners. So I'm turning my painting around. I'm doing it over here. Okay, so pull across and pull down, or pull down and then across, whatever works best for you. And let's do this corner here. Okay. All right, now I'm just going to pull it down like this. So I'm making these all a little bit less than an inch. So I like push the brush down and I just leave a little bit of space in each one. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll just kind of, get them all on there, and then you can always go back and perfect them. So I find it like people want to make sure every single one is so perfect, but my suggestion is to really just get them on there. And then go back and perfect. Okay. All right. So I'm struggling with painting and talking tonight. It's a challenge. All right. So now I have this space, right? So I'm going to make one that's a little bit thinner so I can fit it in. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do this, going across. Does anyone else here listening tonight, have any of you guys ever painted furniture before? Like chairs or stools? Those are always really fun to do. And I also love working when I have a pile of paint to work with when I do this. Like if you're doing it where you don't have a lot of paint and you're scraping at the paint, it's really hard to make those nice little rectangles. So just something to keep in mind. And I'm saying that because I over poured my paint. Okay, here we go. I'm almost done. No, I'm not. I just realized I have a whole side left. Here you go. Yes, you did paint your kitchen table and reupholstered it. You reupholstered your kitchen table, or do you mean like you sanded it and stuff like that? Reupholstered, I think, is chairs. There's fabric, but tell me more, Stacy. Stacy, for those who don't know, is in med school. She's now made a book. She's a published author and illustrator and DIY stuff and wins awards and does it all. I don't know how you do it, Stacy. Tell me more. The chairs. Got it. Okay, so you can see I'm starting to get like the brushes to, you can kind of see the brush on top. So if you take your brush and just wiggle it, it makes a nice straight edge. And so in this space, I have the option of making one section or two sections. And Here we go. Okay, we're going to do one more down here. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole painting. I love doing this. It's very satisfying to just make the sections. Okay, I'm going to make a thin one over here. So it looks like it's behind my lemon there, or my lime. I don't know why I keep calling it a lemon. And a little space here. And one more. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, I do not like the black in my glass, so I'm going to paint over it. I don't know if anyone else made it on there, and if you like it, fantastic. Sometimes I like my squiggles. Sometimes I don't. So I'm going to show you. Now, it was still wet, which I knew. So it's coming out gray. Okay, I'm going to give that a minute to dry, and I'm going to go back over it with the white again. If it's not dry again, well, there are two things you could do. One, you could wipe it off with a paper towel. Not going to do that. Two is you can use a blow dryer. And I also keep one of these cheap little ones. This is a Revlon. I think I got it for like $8.99. I don't even know. I got it a long time ago. It's amazing. So I'll show you. It dries really fast. So I'm not going to fully dry it. I will say, though, if you have a lot of paint and you use the blow dryer really up close, it might start to crackle. So keep that in mind as well, okay? So a little tip there. Now, the last thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to go back and fix that, is I'm going to add all my pizzazz and bedazzle, and then I'm going to add my little polka dots. Thank you, Tammy. All right, now I'm going to use the baby brush for all of this. I'm like, where is the paper towel? There it is. And I'm going to dip my brush into my white. And I'm just doing these like really whimsical kind of fun lines. So I just make them I hold my brush in the middle. So it's very loose, kind of bops around, something like this. Here we go, over here. Again, this is one of those things where you really want to make sure you have a lot of paint when you do this. It makes everything spread a lot easier. And the type A's who are watching, well, first of all, this is to everybody. Everyone's brain likes to make patterns. So you will find that when you do these kinds of things, you're going to like find yourself making a checkerboard almost, or you're going to find yourself making, I mean, this is great for the pattern brain, right? But these, you don't want them to be exactly the same. Like you don't want to do 2 lines down, 2 lines across, 2 lines down, 2 lines across. You want to vary it a little bit. So you're going to go like this. All right, so kind of change it up a little. Tammy, to answer your question, yes, my husband is in charge of the little one goes to bed really early so that I can deal with the bigger one, and my husband's in charge of it tonight, which is kind of fabulous because he's kind of a disaster right now when it comes to bedtime, but he's the best. Just a disaster at bedtime. And here we go. But I am super proud. I know this is an overshare. We've been potty training. And today, in the supermarket, he told me he had to poop, and we went to the bathroom, and he made it, and I'm the proudest mom ever. So I don't know if there are any moms in here who could relate to this, but for those who are in the membership and you've been watching, you've been hearing my how I've been dealing with this, you've been hearing that we've had a few little incidents. I was actually teaching one class, and he came upstairs, and he had gone in his pants. So now hopefully that won't happen anymore. So just a reminder that the membership is opening as a flash sale tomorrow. And it's open from tomorrow through Sunday. And I'd love to have anyone who's watching come join us. All right. We're opening just for a little period of time, and then we will reopen, but probably not for a few months. So make sure you get in now. It is going to be only $30 right now. We're just raising it a little bit from our founding member price. It will never, ever, ever be that cheap again. All right. So in our membership, we get a ton of different, you get at least 3 tutorials. We do small little paintings. We do big paintings. We do watercolors. We do What else do we do? I'm blanking now. Any members on here, what else do? We do so many things. We bring in guest artists. We do a Q&A / we call it Fix That Painting, where I will take paintings, and whether it's our members or my own, and we'll talk about things people are struggling with and how to fix them. So, people have ideas, and we do whatever they say. We have tips and tricks. It's a fun time. So if anyone is interested, please ask questions or just join. You can join on the waitlist right now. So the waitlist is on if you go to our website, and I should have prepared that ahead of time, putting the listing on here. But if you go to the paintbar.com, in the membership section on the navigation, you'll see where you can enter the waitlist. If you're interested in getting the link to sign up, you can put that in the comments as well. You can just write link, and I'll send it to you later tonight or tomorrow. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. So the next thing I'm going to do is what I call I'm going to make little dots. And thank you, Jody. I'm sure you are. Thank you, Tammy. And Jody, yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of poop from Charlie, but now we're good. All right. Yay, Cheryl. That's awesome. Oh, yes. Thank you, Nicole. We do Flower of the Month. So Flower of the Month is something that we will sell as a course after the members get it for free. So it will be something that will be sold separately, but right now our members get it for free. So that's a perk. All right. Thank you so much for reminding me, Nicole. Okay. So now we're going to do little dots, and I'm doing them again, not in any kind of pattern formation. This is salt on my rim. So I love a salted margarita. Like that. Okay, and again, a nice pile of paint does help make dots. And you really want to have them scattered, some bigger, some smaller. Cheryl, I will definitely send you the link. I'll send it to you tomorrow. So you get right now it's just the wait list, but I'll send you the actual link tomorrow. And I feel like you might like our Flower of the Month club. That's part of my favorite. I love the Flower of the Month. All right, we're almost done here. So little dots, I go above it, I go below it. All right, and notice I'm using my pinky, so you just want to make sure everything is dry. Otherwise, you're going to track your paint everywhere. All right, so see how it's kind of up and down. And it looks really fun and bubbly, right, from far away. You're a vodka girl yourself. I hear that, Tammy. I hear that. So, margaritas may not be your thing. Tequila is an acquired taste. Not everyone's into it. But I love margaritas. They're my favorite. And when I think of margaritas, I think of summertime. Like whenever it's a warm, sunny day, all I want are margaritas, chips, and salsa. And so margaritas, I love this time of year. It's the best. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is like we did with the black before. I'm going to add a little bit of the white. I'm going to pop and pull here. Now I do add a little bit of a squiggle or a few little lines on this side just to, again, give my cup a little bit of a dimension here. Like a little bit more of that rounded feel. And then I'm going to paint over this bottom part. I kind of like a little bit of the gray showing, but I'm going to cover it up. Okay, and then I'm going to go into this, pop and pull. And I'm going to make my little lines. And I'm going to do it on this side as well. And then I'm going to go over here. Ta-da. And maybe you can make a few little lines on here. So it kind of gives it a little more dimension again. I always forget this one on top. And actually, when you are painting the inside, they actually have a lot of white lines in the inside. So if you want to go in between each section, this still has the black a little bit wet, but in between each section with the white is awesome. Thank you so much, Tammy. That's so nice of you to say. All right, I'll do a few more here. All right, and then one more on the outside like that. Ta-da! And there is the margarita painting. All right, so you can see it looks a little different. Every time I paint it, always looks a little different, but that is it. So we are done for the evening. For those who are new on here, hello, I'm Jackie. Text me, that's my new number, and that way I can keep you informed on when we're doing new paintings, all the fun things that are happening. Also, if you have any questions, just ask me. That's a direct number to me, no robots there. And that's all I have to tell you. There is an auto response. If you're texting me while I'm painting right now, it's not me texting it. I made a little auto response for you. And our membership opens for the Paint Bar membership tomorrow. It's a flash sale. It's going to be $30 per month, and it will never be that inexpensive again. So this is it. We did our founding member price when we first opened. We're doing a flash sale tomorrow, and then it will be increasing when we reopen again. We only open about 2 times a year so I intended to open earlier this year, but because I had a baby in November, I thought I was like, oh, well, reopen in January. Not so easy to do when you have a new baby and a toddler. So we're holding off till right now. Small reopening right now just for Mother's Day. We will do another big reopening soon. But this is a fun time to kind of slip in before it gets before the price gets raised. Oh, you're sweet, Tammy. Thank you so much. All right, that's it for tonight. Everyone go drink your margaritas, have some nachos, and think of me while you paint. And it's been a great night painting with all of you, and I hope to see you all again soon. All right, good night. Bye.